right? We have a simple question here, right? 19 to 24. I would assume that you guys will read it in the next, 15 to 30 seconds, and then we'll start with the question. We'll start solving the question. Another one on data arrangement. So first we had data arrangement just in the table format. Next we had data arrangement with numerical values, and now we have data arrangement with a seating arrangement. I have given a linear type seating arrangement with only 4 people in question. It could be a circular type seating arrangement as well. Yeah, we'll do that in the subsequent classes, right? So you have your time. You have about 30 seconds to evaluate this question, right? So please have a look. Okay, so that's a good time. Let's take another 10-15 seconds and let's finish with this caselet. About 10-15 seconds. Is that okay? Right? Good. Simple one. I am sure this is the easiest. There's no question asked. This one is the easiest of all the questions that I've put in this sheet. I'm not saying anything is tough. Anything was really at the level that you guys cannot solve. Or after attending these sessions, let me give it to you in writing that all of you will be able to solve such questions which much more easy. These questions take, and even if you take a higher level difficulty question, it might be a little tricky in the beginning, but it's about a little bit of practice, and I'm sure you guys will be there, right? And trust me on this, I'm with you. I'm with you throughout this effort, throughout this journey, right? To make LR, right, as not something that you will be good at, but let me assure you that you'll start enjoying LR, because the moment becomes play, and then you can play with LR, right? That's so cool, right? Okay, so on that note, let's work with the question. Dheeraj, Mamta, Yogesh and Suresh are traveling by air. Is it a nice data arrangement like a Tableau one, but slightly different because we also have a seating arrangement? That's the beauty behind the question. Simple one, like I say. And you know what? When we're talking of these competitive exams, these guys are only going to ask you simple questions, but with enough amount of logic in it. So the question: the doctor is seated between those holding ticket number 91, right? That's ticket number 91 and ticket number 62. So we're not sure whether this is 91 or this is 91. So instead, what we will do is, let's write it this way. There is this seat, there is this seat, there is this seat. This is ticket number 91. If this is 91, this seat number has to be 62. However, if the first seat is 62, then the last seat would become 91. So this would go as one pair and this would go as one pair. So whichever pair it is, we'll try to work with that logic in a while, right? The second statement. So we just read the first statement, and you see every statement I want to clearly write down. I want to define what's happening in the statement and not miss the data and say, hey, listen, I'll read out the statement and thereafter I will answer the question. That's not normally the way that you'd want to approach an LR. It's not like English and reading comprehension. What you do, you'd read the entire RC, right? You'll read the entire RC paragraph by paragraph, right? You don't read the first paragraph and say, hey, listen, and that's it, right? So you want to read it paragraph by paragraph, right? The same way you want to read it point by point or the clue by clue, the add-on data that you have. The film artist, so there's a doctor in between. Yes, I missed out on that. There's a doctor. So the doctor is seated between those holding ticket number 91 and 62, which means the doctor is definitely not holding ticket number 91 and 62. The film artist holds the ticket number 73. No, there was a choice. 62 and 91 is not the doctor. Doctor could have either been 73 or doctor could have been 84. But, now can doctor be ticket number 73 or the seat number 73? Of course not. That means the ticket number 84 will go to the doctor. That's straightforward data. And ticket number 73, we'll have an additional information. Ticket number 73 could either be here right, on this side, or your ticket number 73 could also be on this side, assuming that we placed a doctor here. We have an 84, we have a 60, we have a 91 or 62, and here we have a 62 or a 91. Not really sure. Now, why or not required? CAT does not necessarily work on only one data arrangement for the entire question. Of late, because of the short answer type question, right? There are many cases that are built into data arrangement question. That's a complexity. That's exactly where they want you to miss out on. They want you to miss out on that complexity. Then that's the reason why I say write the cases, right? It'll help you. It might take you half a minute more or a minute more, but trust me, end result is it'll help you. Okay, so coming back, the doctor is seated between the person holding ticket number 91 and 62. So doctor could hold ticket number 73 or 84. We saw the second statement, the film artist holds the ticket number 73 and has two other people sitting beside himself and the engineer, right? So that means the film artist is 73, doctor cannot be 73, doctor has to be 84, but film artist has two people sitting beside himself and the engineer. So this has to be ticket number 73. If this case, that is a film artist, and again in this case that is 73, that has to be the film artist. Okay, the film artist also has two other persons between himself and the engineer. That means here we must have the engineer, whatever the number, it does not matter, because there are two persons between film artist and engineer. That means this has to be the company secretary. That's straightforward, right? The film artist, because of, has to come here, that, and there are two persons, has to have two persons between himself and the engineer. That means the engineer, who are everywhere, should be coming to the end, right? So we have an engineer which is at either this end or at this end. It's a pretty simple thing for us. The only neighbor of Yogesh is Dheeraj. Which means what? Only neighbor. Yogesh has only one neighbor, which is Dheeraj. Which means Yogesh is either sitting at the left end or the right end. Right? The only neighbor of Yogesh is Dheeraj. Dheeraj, who is not a company secretary. Right? That means where should Yogesh come? Right? The only neighbor of Yogesh is Dheeraj, which automatically means Yogesh should become the engineer, right? The only neighbor of Yogesh is Dheeraj. Dheeraj should become Dheeraj, right? Or let me fill off the other case as well, right? That's Yogesh, the engineer. Only neighbor is Dheeraj. So Dheeraj cannot be the company secretary. We'd already noticed that, a film artist cannot be Yogesh, because then, company secretary would become Dheeraj, and Dheeraj is not a company secretary, right? Suresh and the company secretary sit on adjacent chairs. That means Suresh is not a company secretary. Suresh and they are sitting on adjacent chairs, which simply means Suresh is ticket number 73. Suresh is ticket number 73. And we have only one person left, that is Mamata. Mamata. That is ticket number 62 or 91, undecided. But Suresh and the company secretary sit on adjacent chairs. Neither of them hold ticket number 62. That means Mamata does not hold ticket number 62. Mamata has to hold the ticket number 91, right? That's pretty simple. Mamata has to hold the ticket number 91. That means Yogesh has to hold ticket number 62. Mamata is ticket number 91, that is there, because she's not allowed to hold ticket number 62 or 84. Automatically means the engineer, who is Yogesh, will hold ticket number 91. Are we okay? So you'll notice this part is not required in this question. The extra data, I will remove that part just to show you it's not. You also notice it's the same. So in this question it does not matter, but honestly you will not do this in the you will not leave it to what I'm just showing you. That means you'll not do it just this one case. Why? Because you never know if there are multiple cases in the exam till you actually end up solving more or less the entire thing. you might not know. Yes, there's another way to identify with that. There's answer options are there. That with that you can identify with the question itself. You can identify whether there are multiple cases, right? So that ends the question. Pretty easy one. That ends a pretty simple question here that we had. Okay, so Yogesh is an engineer with seat number 62. Dheeraj is a doctor and holds ticket number 84. Mamta is a company secretary and ticket number 91. And Suresh is a film artist, ticket number 73. 60. Yogesh holds ticket number 62. Right? The next question. Suresh is what? Suresh, we had noticed. Suresh is a film artist. You can see Suresh is a film artist. So that's pretty easy data. Suresh is a film artist, right? Then we have Mamta. Mamta is the company secretary. Mamta is the company secretary, right? Mamta is the company secretary. And the next data point that we have, Yogesh. We had noticed in the beginning itself, Yogesh is the only neighbor. Dheeraj is sitting beside Yogesh. We know that data. Dheeraj is yeah, we know that data key. You know, Dheeraj is sitting beside Yogesh, and Yogesh is an engineer, right? And we missed out on data. Okay, the data is Dheeraj has what ticket number? That is 84, and Dheeraj is ticket number 84. And the last question here was Yogesh. Okay, the Yogesh is an engineer, right? Only neighbor of Yogesh is Dheeraj. So Yogesh is an engineer. Engineer is sitting beside the doctor, right? So that's pretty simple caselet, pretty very easy data arrangement question, but with seating arrangement involved. However, in the linear types, the complexity of seating arrangement can become really high in the exam called the IIFT, right? But if you look at some of the caselets that come even in exams like math, sometimes it can be pretty complex. In such cases, more often than not, you'll end up using the answer options, because all these exams have answer option. Only CAT may not have the answer options in some data arrangement. If you start noticing CAT questions, of late they've started giving questions on data arrangement with a short answer type. That's where you'll have to be a little more alert compared to other questions. So are we good? Professions, I'm sure they didn't mention an MBA here, because that's what you guys are going to become, right? And let them be whatever they are, right? It's fine. It's finite knowledge, but infinite learning for all of us. Let's go to a caselet which came in CAT a few years back. A beautiful caselet on two table arrangement format. And in CAT, I think the limit is about three table arrangement format. But this is a nice one, a little bit on thinking, right? Please take about 15 to 20 seconds, or let's say half a minute, 30 seconds to read up. Okay, so that's about 40-45 seconds. So let's do one thing. Let's start. Simple one. We have 5 countries to map. Always, you have to ask yourself. These are certain things that it's understood. It's understood. It's not that CAT has to mention. So this is the only data that is given in CAT when it came, right? So there could be some of you who might think way beyond the question. They might think, hey, what I'm thinking, is it really the way that the examiner is thinking, right? Because probably at times you might start thinking beyond the examination. For example, right, you're talking of these 8 universities. So someone might think, can't a university belong to two countries? No, why would a university belong to two countries? Right? A university would belong to a country, right? A university would belong to a country, or a university would belong to the entire world. How would it belong to three countries or something. We don't have a bilateral or a trilateral university, right? That's common data. If it was there, it would have been mentioned clearly in the question, which they have not mentioned in this question, right? So that makes it very simple to understand. Our focus should not be on what is not available. The focus should be on what is available, and you will see it is much easier to solve the LR caselets once the focus is right where it should be. So question 25 to 28, let's start with that note. So Professor Singh has been tracking the number of visitors to his homepage. His service provider has provided him with the following data on the country of origin of the visitors and the university they belong to. You'll notice there are these five countries: Canada, Netherlands, India, UK, and USA, right? And there are these universities 1 through 8, right? So we'll map the country to a university, right? We'll map the university to a country or country to university. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map university part of a country, right? So we'll look at what's the best country to start with. What's the best country to start with? We can actually start looking at Canada itself, the first country there. You'll notice Canada on day one, the number of visitors from university is 2, right? On day 2 it is 0, and day 3 it is 0 for Canada, right? Which means I'll have to simply map this. Is there something similar to this in for the particular university? Now, if I'm talking of Canada, this just to explain, day 1 and day 5 put together, if you add these values, 1 plus 1, that is 2, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0 for day 1, day 2 and day 3 respectively, these two together could be part of Canada. Or day 2 alone as well can be Canada. Day 7 alone can be Canada. These are three possibilities, but this is really not the way we should be thinking of solving it. We'd rather choose something which is primarily not there anywhere else, right? We'd like to choose such data, right, which will help us. And to start with, everyone would have started thinking for the university belonging to US, because in US we have 101, right? 101, right? And there is no way we can map the 101, right, except taking university 6. There's absolutely no other way of mapping US other than taking the university number 6, right? Are we clear on that fact, right? 101. Is there any other place that you can choose one from day 3 and one from day 1? There's no possibility. There is 002. There's 002 for university 4, but we don't have anything else in day 3, right? And that's the reason I chose USA and university 6. And in fact, USA is closed chapter. We don't have to worry about USA anymore, right? So we look at UK. For UK, it's pretty simple. The university 4. If you look at university 4, it's simple. On day 3, we are mapping the day 3 of UK, right? You will see there are 2 here, right? And here it matches. That's a match, right? We are doing a 2 table data arrangement, right? So it's pretty simple here. From here we can understand that UK has to be the university 4, right? But that does not fill the entire data for UK. We have finished this data, that's okay. But what about day 1 for UK? Day 1 for UK is a confusion, but for now, at least let's understand certain things. For now, we can definitely say that we have mapped 2 of the universities, that's University 4 and University 6. We have mapped it to a particular country. So University 4 is done, University 6 is done. We don't need to touch these 2 bits of data, right? For the UK day 1, now there are 2 possibilities. One, there could be University 2 or there could be University 7. Both have the 200 type because the day 3 is already mapped and day 2 for UK is 0, which means there could be University 2 or University 7, which is the second university which belongs to UK, right? So we are not sure, we are not certain about it, right? So after UK, I think the next country I would like to choose, or you guys would have probably chosen, is the Netherlands. Netherlands is a safe bet. Why? Because apart from India, India also could have been chosen, right? Apart from India, Netherlands is another country where on day 2 there is some data, right? And you see the data on day 2 is 1 visitor, which simply means that University 3 should be Netherlands, right? So we have China, we have Netherlands, we have India, we have UK, and we have US, right? So we identified US to be University 6, University 4, and 2 or 7. India we have not done. Netherlands we have mapped, and we found that Netherlands should be University 3, right? That's straightforward data, right? That's an easy data. Okay, that's an easy data, right? So we'll quickly map this off. That is that's University 4. That was for UK. For USA, we had already mapped University 6, that is University 2 or 7, and for Netherlands, that's University 3. Now, if you look at Netherlands on day 1, there's an issue. There's only one particular university, and there are two places where we could map it. That's University 1 or University 5. We have nothing much to say. University 1 or 5, either one of them could come on for the day 1, filling the day 1 data, right? And we look at Canada. There is like we did for UK, it could be 2 or 7, right? If UK takes in the University 2, then 7 can be taken by Canada. So it could be 7 and 2 or 2 and 7. Accordingly, if this is 7, this becomes 2. If this is 2, if Canada is 2, then UK would become 7. Simple data. And we're left with a little bit of India, right? We're left with a little bit of India. That is 1, 2, and 0. That's easy, the easiest data here, right? Left over we have 8, right? On University 8, that is here. You notice this is University 8, 0 to 0. And we also have, right, for the day 1 for India, right? And we were confused for Netherlands, right? We were confused for Netherlands because of this part, 1 and 1, right? That means this could become a 5 or a 1, right? So pretty much that maps the entire data. Canada is University 7 or 2. Netherlands is University 3 for sure, and University 1 or 5. India is University 8 for sure, and University 5 or 1, which we're not sure. It depends on these two. And UK is University 4 for sure. And between 2 and 7 we have to fix. UK and Canada, we are toggling between the numbers 7 and 2. And finally for USA, it's University number 6, right? So which country does University 5 belong to? University 5, and University 5 belongs to, that is simple data. It is as per the statements, right? University 5 can belong to India or Netherlands, but not US for sure, right? The University 5 belongs to India or Netherlands, but definitely not US, right? That would be an answer. Very simple question here they've asked in CAT when they gave this question. Simple questions were asked. University 1 can belong to which country? As you've already seen, University 1 can belong to either Netherlands or India, but look at the answer options, okay? Do they have India here? No, they have only Netherlands here. So answer is pretty straightforward. It would be Netherlands. Which among the listed countries can possibly host 3 of the 8 listed universities? You'll notice that nothing can host, right? This means or, it does not mean and. So we have, Canada can host only one of the two countries, 7 or 2. Likewise, UK can host only 2 countries. One is for sure 4. The other is 2 or 7. And likewise, every country is hosting either 1 or 2 only. That means there is 0 countries which can host 3 of the listed universities, right? And visitors from how many universities from UK visited Professor Singh's homepage in the 3 days? So that is 2. Visitors from 2 university, right? Visited. A number of visitors they have not asked. They've asked number of universities, right? If you're talking number of visitors, that's a different take, right? That could have also been a question, but pretty simple. You see CAT as a structure. This is a question which for the first time when it came. Now for you would have seen a question like this. You would have gone through other books, a lot of online material. You would have seen a question like this, and you would have noticed that this becomes easy because you've done things like this before. What if it is completely new? For example, last year CAT had given question on frequency distribution, and that's for the first time that it had come in the examination. Most of the student did not sweat; they bled in the examination. Right now, that's how CAT is. Right, you'll have to bring up your thinking process. You'll have to build up your logical thinking. The moment you build it up, it does not matter the type of caselet. What matters is what matters is your thinking, and your thinking becomes much simpler once you structure your mind. Right, like I always say, there's absolutely no course for logic in this world, right? But does it mean that you cannot be good in logic? There's absolutely no course in this world to tell you how to be, how to be successful or how to be happy or how to be anything, right? But the point is, are you doing it enough, right? The same way logic works here, right? So we have like two more questions. Let's do this. Two more questions, and let's give it a stop for this sheet with these two questions. Simple one, data sufficiency, right? We'll take data sufficiency to a different level, right? Data sufficiency in CAT is not really tough, but for all you know, it could become a very tough thing, right? Data sufficiency, they have their own rules, they have their own methods to work with. Of course, I'm not talking of the math part or the reasoning part. There's a method to work for, right? That's simple what we're trying to do. So in data sufficiency, normally you'll get answer options, right? The answer options will be something like this. Mark A for if only one is valid, mark B if only two is valid, C if both one and two are valid, D for either one or two, E no solution even using one and two together. So some answers will be there like that, pretty similar to this. It could be a little different. That means the order could be changed. It may not be mark A for one and mark B for two. It could be in any order. That could be decided, right? So let's look at question 29. So what you have to do is read the question, which is called the question stem. You cannot answer the question with a question stem. For example, in this question, who is the second tallest in the group of four people A, B, C, D if there is only one person who is the tallest? So you cannot say A is the tallest or B is the tallest or C is the tallest or D is the tallest. We don't know that one person, right? But since we cannot necessarily answer the question with the question stem, now we can proceed with the question. If you can answer the question with the question stem, which will generally never happen, you stop because that question is wrong. You're going to be, the paper is not going to be evaluated on that particular question. It's straightforward from there. Okay. The question stem post which there will be additional information or clue 1, clue 2, data 1, data 2, etc., etc. It's normally called the statement 1 and statement 2. Can they give more than two statements? Of course. Why can't they give you more than two statements? The civil services examination normally gives 4 statements and then they have a data sufficiency on that. The IIT JEE examination sometimes gives you 3, sometimes gives you 4, right? So there is no particular rule for data sufficiency, but a standardized format is 2 because it's easy. At the same time, it is super logical. So that's what makes the 2 statement type the favorite of the exam paper setup. So let's do this question now. B using the statement 1. So we'll check whether the question can be answered using statement 1. If yes, good. If not, we'll check statement 2 alone. If yes, good. If not, with statement 1 alone and not with statement 2, then we will combine. We will combine and try to find the answer. If we can combine and find the answer, that is good. But our aim is not to find the answer. Our aim is simply to check whether we are able to find an answer. That's it. That's the key in data sufficiency. Don't find the answer, right? Don't find the answer. Try to see if you can find, right, something that can get to your answer. That's it. That's the aim is not to find the answer. No one is asking you what's the answer. No one is asking you for the numerical value or who is the shortest here, right? So let's look at this question. Data statement 1, B is shorter than A. I've put the less than equal to less than sign to represent shorter. B is shorter than A. B is shorter than A and shorter than C. So B is also shorter than C. Using this, can we find out who is the second tallest in the group? Of course not. We cannot find out who is the second tallest in the group. Right? A could be the second tallest, C could be the second tallest, D could be the second tallest. No clarity. Statement 1. Statement 2 alone. D is taller than A. But there is at least one person taller than D. D is taller than A, but not the tallest. With the second statement alone, we cannot answer. That's but certain. So we'll combine both the statements. So, you look at the answer options. We quickly look at the answer options. Mark A for only one, mark B for two only, mark C for both 1 and 2, mark D for either 1 or 2. So the answer cannot be A alone, answer cannot be 2 alone, answer cannot be either 1 or 2. It has to be either C or E. Let's now come back to the question. Right? So we know B is shorter than A and shorter than C. B is shorter than A, right, and shorter than C, but D is taller than A. D is taller than A, but D is not the tallest. That means there is definitely somebody taller than D. That has to be C. Using this, we found out who is the tallest, second tallest, third tallest, and the shortest. So, can we find out? The question is, can you find out who is the tallest? Yes, we can find out who is the tallest. Like I said, your aim is not to find out the person who is the tallest. Question is, can you find out? That's it. Can you? Are we able to do it? Yes. Who is the tallest? Second tallest, that is D, right? So obviously we can answer the question. The answer would be C. Why I'm spending so much time on looking up the answer and calling it C? Because I have seen a lot of students when they solve these type of questions, their aim is to solve, and once they solve, they get the answer is D. And once they get the person who is the second tallest, you'll notice here the second tallest is D. What they do in this question is they go and mark the answer option D. Unknowingly, they know that they have got it using both the statements, but they mark it D because here the second tallest person's name is D. It's very different from your math question, right? In math, your aim is to find the value or the particular person or item or thing. But in data sufficiency, the aim is not to find that. The aim is to see whether the data in the question is sufficient to answer or not. Right? If that makes sense, shall we move? So answer is definitely not D. Answer is C. That means the question can be solved using both the statements. D is the second tallest, definitely, but that's not what we are looking at. We're looking at with how many statements or with what statements you're able to solve it. Right? The last question of the sheet. 4 persons P, Q, R and S live in 4 houses which are in block 1, block 2, block 3 and block 4. May not be in the same order. If P does not live in a block adjacent to block 4. So there is the person, let's say this is a block, this is a block and this is a block. P does not live in a block adjacent to block 4. Which block does P live? So with this data, there are 4 persons, P, Q, R, S. They live in block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. We don't know, there is no order given of these blocks. So these 4 blocks, we don't know the blocks. Nor do we know who lives in which house. We only know P does not live in a block adjacent to block 4. Right? Adjacent to block 4. That's it. That means P, wherever P is living, it's not adjacent to block 4. This side and this side we cannot put a block 4, right? Statement 1, let's read that. Q lives in block 4, right? So if we say this is block number 4, Q lives in block number 4. So P does not live in a block adjacent to block 4. That means P cannot live here, P cannot live here. There could be another possibility. This is block 4, Q lives here. P cannot be here, but there could be another 2 blocks here, right? That could also be a possibility, right? P does not live in a block adjacent to block 4. That's it. Q lives in a corner, so there's only one place where P does not live. Q lives somewhere in center, then P can not be in 2 of the places, right? So with that, can we answer which block does P live, right? We cannot. So we'll go to the second statement. We go to the second statement, right? Block 4 is adjacent to block 1 and block 2. So we have only this data. We have only this data if block 4 is adjacent to block 1 and block 2. Could be the reverse, right? It could be the reverse. With that, can we identify in which block P does not live, right? So let me rewrite this statement. Let me make it a little clear, right? Statement 2, right? Block 4 is adjacent to block 1 and block 2. It does not matter the order, and there will be one block here or here, it does not matter, you map it, right? Block 4 is adjacent to block 1 and block 2, and we know that P does not live in block 4. So that means, let's say this block is 3. So which block do you assume that P lives in? Can I say now P lives in block number 3? Isn't that cool? That's cool if we understand that P does not live in a block adjacent. Guys, P does not live in a block adjacent to block 4, right? There is no statement which says P cannot live in block 4. P can definitely live in block 4 as well. That means there are two possibilities here for us. One, P living in block 3, and second, P living in block 4. One important part of data sufficiency is you have to get a single answer. Now we got multiple answers. We got to get a unique answer. So P can either live in block 3 or live in block 4. So we cannot get an answer here. We cannot get an answer. So we combine the statements. If we combine the statements, Q lives in block 4. That means this case is true. This case is negated. Q lives in block 4. You cannot put P here. You cannot put P here, right? P has to come in block number 3. So the question can again be answered using both statement 1 and 2. Are we all good? Is that fine? Data sufficiency, will do a lot of data sufficiency. You'll notice in the future sheets, at least the sheets that will come later on, once we finish more than half of this journey, that you'll see some good questions of data sufficiency coming. Simple ones, but logical in nature, highly logical in nature, right? If you're looking at this exam called GMAT, the mainstay of GMAT is data sufficiency. Out of the 30 odd questions, I think now 31 questions that come in GMAT in math, right? Most of the questions are on data sufficiency. At least 50% of the paper is more or less data sufficiency, right? Because these questions have a high logical reasoning thought process with just two statements. That makes it a beautiful set to work with. Okay, so I hope there was some amount of learning. Very simple class compared to what we did last time, but I guess this is building a platform. Now that's important, the building a process in our minds, building a system and making us to think, right? Making us think and taking baby steps in thinking in the right direction, right? I hope all you guys are with me. So I will catch you guys again with some good questions, right? Very soon, right? Thank you very much.
You can learn any subject, anywhere, any place, and on the go. Come, let us go the other way in learning. Download our revolutionary app for free, AMC.